I tried to get into the Indian Army through National Defence Academy exams and I couldn't clear. I think then I went into the other part of it, the CDS couldn't clear. And but my first movie is Commando as a leading man. So I did clear somehow. I'm very proud Indian and I feel very proud to let everybody know that this is the mother of all martial arts. I could be the first person who's got 7 of the current world champions from cycling to rollerblading to sky jumping in the movie. So I did 2 movies down south. I used my skills, then they edited it, and I realized that there's a way I have to be in, otherwise they'll cut all my scenes.
Welcome to Humans Bombay, Vidyut.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy the song?
Loved it.
Halfway.
I took a pause and I wanted to enjoy a bit more, and then I told everybody, stop, I want to listen to this. Yeah, good one.
It was a good feeling. You know, you have this sense of very contentment around you. And you've also said in one of your interviews, you know, that where I've reached today is far beyond where I would have expected. So where does the sense of contentment, this positive energy, this zest for life come from?
Either you have it or you train for it. I think I've done both.
Yeah. So how? So you were, like, have you always been this happy, like, positive kind of individual, even when you were growing up?
No, I've been everything. I've been angry, I've been frustrated, I've been irritating, all of them.
Yeah.
Loving, happy, all of it. But then after a while, you start choosing what you really enjoy the most. And I think I enjoy being happy and funny.
Yeah.
I enjoy happy people around me. And if they aren't, I make sure they're happy.
It's good to know. You know, we were doing a little bit of research about you, and you have such an interesting childhood. Like your father was in the army, your mother was into martial arts. What was your childhood like? Like, what were you constantly moving? Were you inspired by the martial arts because of your mother, or did you find your own calling? What was it like?
So because you've done a little bit of research, I must tell you, I'm going to tell you another side of my life, which not many times have I spoken about.
Okay, great. We love that.
So like, you know, my dad was in the army. I've been really fortuitous to be born in an army family. The life is very different there to start with, like very different from what people really don't know. Like normally people expect my father to be like this very dictatorial, hard man. The fathers are not like that. They're the gentlest people. The men are very gentle. And that's what really makes a man who's gentle and strong. We get an exposure very differently. Like either you have to have a lot of money to play golf, polo, or you got to be really privileged. I've been from the latter part because I started playing polo when I was young, riding, golfing. We were traveling to different cities in the country. I had the ability to make friends very easily because it was not that I go to school and I'm unhappy. 2 years later, I've left these people and I moved ahead. Very different.
Yeah.
That's what's really made me who I am. When I'm in Bombay, I can get to talk to anybody. I can sit with anybody. I can go to a 5-star hotel or I can sit anywhere and have a great time.
Yeah.
That comes from that part of it. You learn how to respect everybody, everything. आपसे ज़्यादा देशभक्त आदमी हो नहीं सकता है because you've seen people die around you. I've lost a mama to the country. I've lost another relative of mine to the country. I've lost a few friends to the country. But we are very proud of it. We talk about it with great valor, happiness, dignity. All these characteristics make us.
Yeah.
We're different. We use, like when I meet journalists, sometimes they do surprise me when they ask me, "Aapko kaisa lag raha hai yahan pe attack hua hai?" I'm an army kid. Wrong question to ask. Kaisa lag raha hai? Matlab bahut gussa aa raha hai. So we are the warrior class, the forces kids. We're different.
Let's talk about your journey with martial arts. You taught me how to pronounce the word. Let me try. Kalaripayattu.
You said it
Yeah.
better than anybody else in the world.
No, I really didn't. But I learned offline. Okay, so tell me your journey with it.
I can tell you the destination.
Yeah.
A lot of people will know how to pronounce this in the world because this is Indian heritage. I'm very proud Indian, and I feel very proud to let everybody know that this is the mother of all martial arts. So that's the destination.
Yeah.
I started young, but like everybody else, I tried everything. I wanted to be a badminton player, a polo player, a table tennis player, arm wrestling champion, javelin thrower, army kid. But the thing that was constant with me was martial arts because I just enjoyed the mind and the body finding union. And that was the place I really Like, I used to try things. People never told me anything bad if I harmed somebody in terms of kicked somebody just because I was a good kicker, or break something because I'm a martial artist. So I thought this is a cool thing. I can do a lot of things, jump from the first floor and nobody will complain because I'm a martial artist. So played a lot of games, met a lot of different people. So martial arts has been everything. It is who I am because that is the kala that I worked on. That is my tapasya.
Yeah.
Uh,
So when did you decide it was time for, okay, I can maybe embrace another side after you came to Bombay?
So I came to Bombay. I had a skill and I was very good with the physical ability. And the mother is the person who needs to be blamed for every male in the country or across the globe that tum bahut good looking, you should try modeling. And you start believing it at a very young age. And I thought, why not use my skills as a martial artist on stage? I was very turned on when I saw a fashion show, and I was like, I want to do acrobatics on stage. It was not I want to walk the stage. I was like, I want to do 15 of these flips. And it started from there. I was young. And then when I came to Bombay, this is the first profession I chose. I wanted to be a model. Like, this is what I can do very easily. And I was very good on ramp. I started looking for work because you need to survive. And so I did 2 movies down south where I had imperceptible roles, but they did wonders for me. I used my skills, then they edited it, and I realized that there's a way I have to be in like leading man now. There's no way. Otherwise, they'll cut all my scenes. And then the moment I came to Bombay, after that, I got to give an audition for Force. And where I thought I should not do negative roles, I was like, I want to do this one. And then people liked me, and then I kept working hard, and I'm still at it.
And your family was happy with the decision? Like, how was it perceived?
They were more proud than anybody else in the world.
Yeah?
Yeah. I tried to get into the Indian Army through National Defense Academy exams, and I couldn't clear. I think then I went into the other part of it, the CDS couldn't clear. And but my first movie is Commando as a leading man. So I did clear somehow. So parents are happy. I think I genuinely think parents, if you're a healthy person, they're mostly happy. In my case, for sure, they were like, are you eating well? You're doing this well? Everything is good. Rest, you will have to hustle. So they were happy. And everything I did, from the small roles in South movies where nobody could see me but me and my mother. She was like, how good are you in this shot?
How sweet.
So, from that, like, their parents are amazing. Like, mostly, yeah.
Mostly, yeah. And how was it like working with John Abraham? You're very fitness-oriented, very like into that space. There are some people who are into that space. I'm not into that space. How was it like?
What space are you talking about? Like pumping metal?
Yeah, like just being really like about the physical, like pushing the physical.
You don't work physically on you?
Boundary. I do, but I'm not like I don't feel passionate about it. I work out to be healthy. I don't work out because I love working out. There's a difference. Yeah.
I think everybody else works out because they want to be healthy, and then they realize, wow, it's so easy, let's work harder. And then they become fit and they say, oh, let's work harder. Oh, I'm an exceptionally different human being. And then delusion starts. It was amazing. To face a man who's that large, like he's a massive human being.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was for me, it was a blessing to work with him.
Why do you say that?
You get to meet the biggest guy in action, and he is the big guy. And you want to be an action star, but you don't know how, and you face him, that's destiny.
Yeah.
You can't plan anything. You just can't plan anything.
Yeah. So are you the type of person who like flows with the situation, or do you like to be structured in terms of this is my plan?
None of the above. I don't like to be in the box. So I choose it conveniently. Sometimes I believe it's destiny. I'm just in bed and everything is working. Then there are days when I think it's all hard work. I have to work very hard. Vidyut, wake up today. Wake up. And I do it. And then there is sometimes when I think, wow, I've just manifested this. How did this happen? I was thinking about it.
How did it come here?
So it keeps operating between the three.
Between the two. And then how were the initial years after your debut and, now you're on this new path? Did you have any like fan moments or starstruck moments that you still remember that was like, okay, I'm in Bollywood, you know.
No, the journey is, you don't get to know. It's like, you just merge into it. You just don't get to know what's happening around you.
Yeah.
This is my experience. It's like you just merge into it. It's like the clouds come and you walk into the clouds. You think it's cloudy, but it's not cloudy. Then you're in the clouds. It's as smooth. If you're enjoying the journey, I think.
Yeah.
So I've loved it.
And when did you decide that this is what I want to do for like, it fills me up and I want to do it as a career. I want to do it because I feel passionately.
I've never had this emotion till 6 months back about something. I've never experienced this emotion like, this is what I want to do. I'm an army kid. Army mein nahi hua to merchant navy. Wahan nahi hua to yahan. Squash player. Blah. I've tried everything. But not left the martial art path. So, okay, I need to work. I'll do a bad, I'll play a villain, but I'll be so good that I'll be the best. And then I'll be la la la. So you keep working towards it. It's not a, but like when I produced my first movie, that's IB71, it was like I become a producer. It was like walking into that cloud. But 6 months back when I was working on, we were releasing Crack, and I was working on the VFX and the sound. And that's when I realized this is what I want to do. I want to produce movies which are high-end action. I believe action doesn't need money. It needs thinking, training, and a lot of like-minded people. And so 6 months, this is, I promise you, 6 months ago it happened to me. I was like, I love my job. I love doing this. I always loved it. I love being an actor. It's amazing. It's amazing. But this is like, wow. I can take the calls. I can get the best of the action directors. I can get the best of the cameraman who shoots. So I had that emotion just 6 months ago.
Wow. And are you trying to further that niche in terms of quality? You know, just like really good action films that are well directed, well curated, have a great set of people working on it in the Indian Bollywood context.
So Crack, the movie I'm talking about, is the first extreme sport movie out of India officially.
Wow.
And I could be the first person who's got 7 of the current world champions from cycling to rollerblading to sky jumping in the movie. To use them as choreographers. Like, you shoot the cycle shot because action director shoot it very well, but because you're a professional, you use your phone to shoot your Instagram videos. I want you to shoot me like this.
Yeah.
So we tried something which I always believed should be done, and I promised, like, I'm so proud of what I see when I see on screen. Like, use the people who really know the job.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like such a logical thing when you say it, but it's not often done.
I rollerblade, and when I rollerblade with these friends of mine, most of them know better angles than what I see because we post, right?
And you do it every day.
Yes, and imagine, so why not hire them? They're the world champions. They know how to be shot. So they shoot. It really did well. Like, when I see it, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you said that people only know about 5% of your life. So if you had to define your 95% in a sentence.
People who are close to me, like people who witness, like who I am around every day, they know I do a lot of other things. Apart from sketching, making caricatures, I know the human system more than any doctor that I have met in a long time.
Really?
I know the whole system of the human body. Kalaripayattu, where I come from, is about healing rather than harming. So first you know how to heal the body. If you know how to heal this joint, you'll know how to break it easily. But it's taught in a different way. So I've been healing for a long time. That's another part people don't know. I have a fan page called Jammwalians exclusively for them. I get them on a Zoom call once in a blue moon, and if they have any physical ability that they want to improve on, we work on it. I started a healing channel in 2020 for 3 months. It grew up to be the world's 3rd biggest channel, and I stopped it because I didn't have the time. Healing the system. So this is all from Kalaripayattu. It's the 7 systems that I talk about, from the respiratory system to the neuromuscular to the lymphatic to the whole system. So that's what I do when I'm home and I don't step out so much. I'm studying them. When I tell you I'm an army kid, we are raised differently. When I say, when you were talking about Sushmita also, is like a lot of people know that when you wake up in the morning, an army kid is supposed to make his bed. We've heard this before.
Yeah.
You make your bed, get your pillow right, get everything right, because that's the first thing you'll achieve in your life of that day. You got it right according to your own, like whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So you've done something that is in your control. So
Yeah.
we start from making the bed. The second thing that in martial arts we are taught is the moment you wake up, you listen to your breath 100 times. It's not meditation. You just focus on it. So that's the only thing that you can control in your system. Like
Your breath.
the only thing. And imagine if your mind can control the breath consciously, that means that your mind is controlling your mind. So nothing can divert you. You're focusing on your mind. You don't get diverted. So all these kinds of, so this is like the 5% they know is the actor, the martial artist, or some things that I do. But there's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah. And you seem like you're spiritual. I mean, speaking about breath, etc.
You're oracular, I must say.
Seeming
You
spiritual.
can see. I know the science of the human body, so I can speak with great belief about a lot of things.
What about not the human body, right? Like that science. What about not the human body?
Everything is the human body.
Like, okay, for example, like a lot of spiritual practices where they talk about mindfulness or like honing the subconscious, which you can't physically touch or nobody's really ever seen it, but it's proven. Do you follow that line? And is there something that you apply to your own life?
So I'll explain to you because there are a lot of questions in this. So recently, that is about a year and a half back, I went and buried myself in snow for 3 hours. I documented it.
Wow.
So I did different, like every day I enhanced this time from about 15 minutes to 45 minutes. It's a process. It's a yogic martial art kriya where you do and you prove to yourself that you are a great martial artist. It's not the degrees. So this is one of the things I did. And before that, I went into a beehive without any safety. 5% only people know, I told you.
Yeah.
So I have it all recorded. So because I've been reading the yogic mudras and the rest of the science, I've been a student of it. So when I buried myself in snow, I had the whole protocol, like the mudras, the breathing. This is what I'm going to do for the first 3 minutes. Then I'm going to go in the 15th minute. After about 8 minutes, I couldn't figure it out because none of the mudras were working. I was freezing.
This is the first day.
This is the first day.
Yeah, okay.
Like I was a little confident because I know the mathematics fully. I know the whole formula. And I failed. So then I went into a frozen lake, which I posted on my Instagram. That was the second time.
Okay.
And I figured my breathing a little bit. And I realized that the mudras that I'm dependent on aren't working.
Okay.
They're not working. So I gave up after about 20 minutes and I was really frozen. Like, but you're not supposed to freeze. Like,
basis what you've studied.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then I started training on different mechanisms. I was in Kashmir for a while. And then finally, when I got a hang of it, I realized that everything that has been told or written is for them. It's not for me or for you because our systems are so different. They're very different because when it's about life and death, then it's about survival. Then what they've done, the extreme mudras are for their survival. It will not work for me. My system's different.
So how did it finally work?
Sorry?
How did it finally
So
work?
when you're there, one of the visits, I told my friend who was with me because he's supposed to be there if I pass out. So we had this thing that if I pass out, you will have to wait to know that I passed out, but don't wait for too long. So for me, it was, I can't give him a sign because I had my eyes shut almost. So I know that he's there, so I didn't give up. But whilst I was not giving up and I was holding myself like this, I realized that this is heating my system up. So I kept
Like this?
Like at one, I have it all written on, like I've got it all. So I realized that I'm feeling a little better. So then I realized that I can control my breathing right now. Then I started working on my breathing. And whilst I was working on the breathing, I realized this is heating me up. And then I realized whilst this is heating, if I keep my arm here, so the mudras were being formed.
As you were going through it?
Yeah. Okay. So when I did this, after about an hour and a half where I had lost complete interest in whether I'm going to pass out or not, I'm discovering so many new things. I realized that I'm enjoying this now. Now I'm harnessing all that I needed to. And so one of the things is nothing worked that I had trained for. This is high end in terms of, this is life and death. And you got to find your own experiences. So to sum it up and answer your question, madam, I have no idea about all of it. I haven't gone there as yet.
You haven't.
So from my personal experience, I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. But why do you keep doing these things to push your limit? Like being 3 hours in snow. It's just so like scary or uncomfortable for me. Like
No, I agree.
I freeze in the studio.
No, I agree.
So, what is the thought process behind wanting to push it to achieve whatever it is?
It's the thought process that every other human being has to be the best version of yourself. It could be by writing, by painting, or by experiencing things through your body. Like, I enjoy it because I realized there's no limit to it, but there is a method to the madness. There is a whole science that you got to discover on the way.
Yeah.
And I love that. I see people go crazy for being famous, and there's a method to that madness, and they know it. They find their own way.
Yeah.
So, hence, why do I do it? Because, as Leonardo da Vinci says, that you got to experience every cell in your body to the fullest. If you don't, you're sinning. And I agree with it.
Wow. Yeah.
Should we come back to the plane?
What plane? I'm loving the conversation.
I know.
Yeah. Forgot my train of thought there. And how was the beehive experience? Did you get bitten? Did you get?
So I'll explain to you how this comes. So when we are raised in an army background, right? So your dad's posted in a place which there might be some insurgency there. So you know that your dad's in a very risky place. Your mom's gone to a school to teach students. Now the only person who's your friend is your bhaiya, your sevadar, or the army guy who's meant to be taking care of you. So now they come from different places, Chennai or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I had a Pahadi guy. So उसका ये था कि उसको शाम को मेरा अगर मनोरंजन कराना था वो मुझे गार्डन में ले जाता था और वो पत्थर से मुझे चिड़िया मरवाता था भैया उसको मारो they older than I so he taught me how to like use a weapon that is stone. He was a hardcore mountain boy. He taught me how to not be scared of a snake. Like he used to quickly go and catch it because he was trained in his village.
Yeah.
So I was intrigued, and growing up with these bhaiyas, it's amazing because they know so much more. They've lived in the wilderness. They are the real guerrilla warfare people.
Yeah.
So unse maine saap pakadna seekh liya. So the fear left me very early. I realized there is a science to respecting the other beings. They know how you do it. So the beehive experience was different because it's all about your breathing and a lot of smoke in your hand. There are different ways. You can have a queen bee and go into it. That's another process. Then there are different ways.
Yeah.
This is the hardcore Indian style. You get into the forest, go with a lot of smoke. And the only thing you have to believe in is that I will not die, because you have to focus on your breathing. And when they besieged you, they're all around you. And if something bites you also, you will not do this. That's a promise to you, because the moment you do this, they all will get a signal. So if they bite you, you'll have to bear it. So the first time I went in, I experienced it a few times, but there's so many of them that you don't care if something's biting you, just do. And then you focus, and then you breathe. The second time was different, because when I went in without a t-shirt, a lot of confidence, and then I was sure that I'm going to breathe into everything. Like, they go into your nostrils, they go everywhere.
What? Yeah.
But you just be calm. That was the experience.
It's crazy. And what's your support system like? I know you've been very vocal about how close you are with your mother. Who else?
Everybody.
Everybody? Who's everybody? How do we define everybody? Like who's in your...
No, I'll tell you. So like I said, we were having a conversation in the car with the girls, and I was just telling them that it's so much easier to be happy to start with. Like if somebody doesn't like somebody, for example, who cares? Like if somebody thinks that you're... Like for example, I'm a little colorblind. Your hair is red, right?
No. My hair is not red.
Yeah, but you will certainly, with great belief, say, my hair is certainly not red. But if I say you're a foolish human being, you will take umbrage to it.
Yeah.
So I have disconnected myself from that.
Yeah.
So my support system is anybody who's nice to me, I have a feeling they'll be doing something good with me.
Who do you call and chat with about important things?
In life, people call me for important things. I am that phone call.
Oh, really? Yeah. So what makes you that? Because do you give very sound advice?
I don't give sound advice. I just listen to them, and then they give their own answers.
And what's your dating life like? What's your dating life like? You've been the most...
Dating is such an uncool word to start with, but it's very cool.
It's very cool, yeah. So, but you've been named the most desirable couple of times, so top 5 martial artists in the world. How's the dating scenario for you? Are you inundated, or do you look for genuine connection? What is dating and what is love for you?
So I've gone through phases in my life, and I think dating is the process which I haven't really had a lot of fun with. I've enjoyed being in love, and a lot of the times I've so the last I was in love, I got engaged.
Okay.
And this was about 2.5 years back. And then I thought that phase was amazing because engagement is a great place to be. Then her and I realized that we should stop for a while thinking about marriage because there's a lot of social pressure and enjoy this. But right now, we both are taking it a little easy. So dating, I don't know, but yeah. Is that the question?
Yeah. I was also thinking. What did I ask? Yeah, that was the question.
Or were you asking what kind of people would you like to date?
No. That's
So
like
that's
it.
what-
Not like, just like, what's the process like, for...
Process is you just need to like the person. If you like the person, you love the person.
Yeah.
There's no image in the head. Fat, thin, very fat. Who cares? You should be happy.
And how is it just with playing like a romantic part? Since now we've discovered your dating situation, what you're like. Like, how is it playing
I enjoyed it.
the romantic part?
I enjoyed being that maniac. I enjoyed being that man in love who can do anything for his kid or his wife. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Which do you prefer?
Saving the kid or the wife?
No. Which part? Like, do you prefer action films or romantic films? Or you've done it.
Both.
Both. A bit of both.
No, I do only things that I enjoy.
And what is it that you feel? And this is an interesting question because it's so many different answers that we've got on the show. So I'm very interested to know. What is that one thing that drives you every day? Not like on a professional level, not like, oh, I have to go to set, or not on like, okay, I have to pay the bills, but like as a human being going through this journey, what drives you? Like, what do you see life as?
Different phases. Like, for example, I'm not shooting nowadays. Let's start with that. I'm working on my production on the blah, blah, blah. So when I wake up in the morning, I think, what is it that I feel like doing? I feel like finishing this book that I started, or I want to finish these notes that I was writing, or I want to work on this specific muscle, or I want to acquire this skill. Then I got off my bed, and then I think my body doesn't feel like working out. So what we do is, let's just read a bit.
Yeah.
So I do everything that calls for it. Otherwise, when I'm shooting, I wake up in the morning and I'm excited to go to the shoot. I pull my sunroof off to see Bombay like this because I love seeing it from that periphery.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then I go and I have a lot of fun, learn so many new things. Come back, yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
There's no planning until and unless it's a regimental shoot.
Yeah. Like you're in the flow.
That's the flow.
That's the
I
flow.
go with the flow.
Okay, great. Okay, we have a few questions about things that we couldn't find on Google about you. So Googled them and didn't find it. So hopefully we'll add it. What's your guilty pleasure?
Yes. What's your guilty pleasure? Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
Like something that is, you know what a guilty pleasure.
I want to know what you mean because you
Okay,
say
I'll
the
tell you
answers are different. Maybe they all understand it differently.
Okay, so guilty pleasure is something that you know is bad for you, but you still indulge.
I don't think anything is bad for me.
Really, like,
How can it be? Like, for example, I can't think of an example, but if I have a drinking evening, let's start with that. I want to get drunk. Why to have just 1 or 2 glasses?
Yeah.
So if it's bad for me, I don't know. That's the day I want to be bad. So I don't have really, really guilty. Like, I don't know. I don't have anything like that.
no. Do you follow a very strict diet?
Not at all. No.
Go
No.
on.
No, I know you won't believe me because
Yeah.
you have trust issues also.
What? Thanks. Such a huge attack.
Joke. Hey, sense of humor.
Haha.
A
No, but
voracious reader
when was
should
the
have a good sense
when
of
was
humor,
the,
isn't
okay, when
it?
was the last time you ate bread?
I ate. Pinas Baba, what did we eat today? Please remind me. Like,
Wow.
now I trust.
Yeah. Trust.
I eat everything. I work, I don't give importance to food at all. I see people talk about it all the time. I don't believe in diets. I eat everything that my body is asking for. I don't overdo it. I don't overdo it. But if I feel like having, like she said, a croissant, I will eat it because I really want to have it.
Okay.
Hence, I'm mostly happy. I don't kill myself. Hey, that was a joke.
Yeah. Who's your dream dinner guest? Can be alive or
What does it
dead.
mean? Dinner guest mean like take somebody out for dinner?
No, like just, it can be anybody you just want to have a chat with across a meal.
Living or dead? If I had an opportunity and there was just one, I would do Leonardo da Vinci.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What's
Like-
the best thing you've heard about yourself?
I'm deluded. I hear everything and I say, I think they're saying the good thing only about me. Really.
A piece of advice you'd give to the young Vidyut.
A piece of advice I would give myself.
Yeah, young.
Well, perfect. Lived it to the T. 19, you believe you can beat Mike Tyson, you're doing the right thing, your mind is in the right place. This is a 19-year-old boy.
Yeah.
I lived it to every moment, yeah.
What's your idea of a holiday? Don't say
It's
3
different.
hours in snow.
No, that was a different kind of holiday for my respiratory system. It was like, it's different. It keeps moving. It keeps moving.
What is it now?
Like I said, I recently went on that trip where I was all alone in the mountain. I cooked for me. I lived a life which I normally don't get to. I enjoyed being with me for those 7-8 days.
So throughout this conversation, you've come across as a this upbeat, exactly like life as you take it, kind of in the flow. What have your challenges been and how have you dealt with them? Like, what are some of the low points of your life and how have you dealt with them?
When the low phase comes, I go through it. I know I don't feel like it. Everything seems to be wrong. So I be in that. But because I write a journal, I keep writing it because I know this will pass. And then there's a moment where I'm like, I'm the best, fittest, fastest human being. And then I tell myself, slow down, child, you might just trip. So I go through these phases and I deal with them exactly like that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm low, I don't care about coming out of it because the moment I try to come out of it, it pulls you more. So I be in it and it runs away. Similarly with happiness, if I'm very happy, I know it's going to pass. So let me be more happy.
Yeah. So you kind of immerse yourself in whatever emotion there is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. To the T. If I'm angry, I'll express it. If I feel love, I will express it. If I feel jealousy, I will admit it to me.
Yeah.
I like all that.
So you're honest with yourself.
I enjoy being in that emotion because they keep moving.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And you've had this journey filled with experiences, adventures, different professions, different ways of being with yourself around other people. You enjoyed the process of being by yourself, cooking, doing all of these things, great photographs. But not everybody's so sure. Like, especially a lot of youth watch our show and it's difficult to find that assurity, right? Like I'll go from experience to experience eventually and find my footing. So what advice would you give people who are watching, who may not necessarily have it figured out?
I don't have an advice, but what I do is, if I'm curious about something, I watch something, I get to hear about something. I'm talking about let's talk about a physical aspect of it.
Okay.
I watched something and it sparked something in my cells. I enjoyed it. And a few days later, it makes me want to try it. And knowing that I will not get it. And then I try it and I realize I'm so bad. Then I don't give up. And then I keep trying and then I realize it's not that difficult. And then I keep doing it. So first things first, you need to know what you really want or what you like to do. Once you know that, it could be eating a lot of samosas. If you love it, eat it. You might just be, like you could do something with samosas. Like you could sell it to the people. Like what is it that you like about it? So in my opinion, you need to experience everything. Even if it sounds impossible, wrong, you should try it.
I'm going to end with this question. You said something very interesting in the beginning of the conversation. You said that men have to be sensitive and strong at the same time.
Gentle.
Gentle at the same time. What is your opinion on the so many different layers of feminism or gender disparity that we have in the country? What advice would you give to men specifically?
As in context to what? Advice
In context of
how to be with women?
there's this thing about alpha male, right? Which is very different from what you mentioned. What is your take on it? Like, what is your take on men being sensitive or being...
I don't have an opinion on it. I just have my own thoughts on how I see men.
Okay.
Let's start with men who've been raised by women. I've been raised by a sister. I've been raised by a sister. I've been raised by a mother. And I've been raised in an ashram where there were 800 women, imagine. So I've been raised by so many women. If you've been raised around a woman, I think you'll know a lot about respecting women. A lot. I think so. Basic elementary. You should never forget that.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. Women need to tell their men in their house that they're not alpha male. Why are they not telling them? How can I advise them? The women in the house should be telling them the truth. It starts with between the two of them. But I think if a man, you can see a man who respects a woman, and if you think a man is not respectful towards somebody, then you should avoid those people. But men normally, I must say, on behest of men, most of the men in this room also, you talk about it, nobody's gonna ever Eve tease a woman. 99% don't. That 1% would, and that spoils the name of the men. Similarly with women, most of them are nice. If you open a door, give them a chair, they'll be thankful. Some of them don't, so don't care about it. Enjoy doing it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the conversation. It was fun. I learned a lot. I'm going to research a few things now. I'm going to watch this video of 3 hours in the snow if you've uploaded it. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Thank you all for being the best community, and I'll see you soon.